Provost and Deputy Vice-Chancellor. As public orator, I, Dr. Paul Jenkins, present Martin Stern, a candidate for an honorary degree. In 1942, at a primary school in Amsterdam, two young men walked into the classroom and asked for Martin Stern. The teacher tried to say that 5-year-old Martin was not in school that day, but he showed himself and was taken to a detention centre where he was questioned and his identity confirmed. Martin was taken first to Westerbroek concentration camp and then to Theresienstadt, north of Prague. His only crime was being Jewish. When the outbreak of Second World War looked inevitable, Martin's parents moved from Berlin to Holland because they believed that Holland would be neutral as it was in the First World War. It was in Hilversum, Holland, that Martin was born. Martin's father was in hiding as he had been involved with a confrontation with the Nazi authorities. Martin and his sister were looked after by a Dutch couple, Katrien and Johannes Rademakers, who treated the children as their own. The brother and sister were not kept secret. They went about their normal business, visiting the zoo and going to school. Their neighbors noticed the sudden appearance of two children in the Rademakers household, but most thought nothing of it. However, someone reported their presence to the authorities. Soon after Martin was detained, his 1-year-old sister was arrested, along with Katrien and Johannes Rademakers. Johannes was transported to a camp and never returned. Martin and his sister ended up in Theresienstadt together. A Dutch woman got to know about the anti-Nazi activity of Martin's father and decided to protect the children. She kept them away from other children and from the camp doctor, no matter what illness they contracted. Somehow or other, both children survived. On May 8, 1945, the Soviet army entered Theresienstadt and Martin's nightmare came to an end. He moved with his sister to a family in Didsbury, Manchester. Martin learned English very quickly and became a pupil at Manchester Grammar School. He then went on to Brasenose College, Oxford, to study medicine. Martin married a girl in Leicester, and they have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Martin's daughter, Vivienne, is with us today. Vivienne Stern is the Chief Executive of Universities UK, the body that represents 142 British universities. Martin has British nationality and is very grateful that Britain gave him a new home after the Second World War. In 1984, Martin joined the Leicester Children's Allergy Service based at Leicester Royal Infirmary. Initially, Martin worked alone, but the service has expanded to provide allergy assistance to local children. Moreover, Dr. Stern's association with the university has extended further through his collaboration on the Swiss Poleno Sample Project. The project was launched in 2024 and provides real-time pollen counts in the atmosphere, which has led to a significant improvement on previous scientific understanding. This work aligns closely with the university's broader area of research on clean air. Martin has devoted much of his spare time to Holocaust education, and he is an honorary associate member of the Stanley Burton Centre at the university. Martin was awarded the MBE in 2018 for his work on Holocaust education. Provost and Deputy Vice-Chancellor, on the authority of the Senate and Council, I present Martin Stern that you may confer upon him the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
Members of the Senate and Degree Council of the University of Leicester, Vice-Chancellor, it is a great honour to be awarded an honorary degree as Doctor of Laws by this university, with which I have had an enjoyable relationship, notably during my time as consultant immunologist in the university hospitals. I thank you and the members of the university I worked with, notably in the Stanley Burton Center for Holocaust and Genocide Studies and the aerobiology team in the School of Biological Sciences. Music at the university has been a joy. I particularly acknowledge the help of my friend and mentor, Professor Aubrey Newman, historian and founder of the Stanley Burton Center for Holocaust and Genocide Studies at the university, the first such at any British university. He is too frail to be here, but his benign and wise influence helped shape this university. I congratulate all of you, my fellow graduates, on this crowning achievement from your hard work and training in academic study, which I hope you will continue and develop. In the USA, celebrity speeches at graduation are called commencement speeches. I like that idea. The outstanding example in 2005 at Stanford University was by Steve Jobs, CEO of Apple. And if you've not heard it, you should. Just search Steve Jobs' commencement speech. The world is unpredictable. Change is accelerating. Steve Jobs explains from his life how you can respond to the unexpected, even disasters, and use your individual abilities to discover or create a career you could never have imagined. Steve Jobs was a bastard to work with, but his commencement speech is unparalleled. Life will surprise you. I hope that you will surprise life. And I hope that this will be a credit to the University of Leicester. My doctorate is for work in Holocaust education. But isn't that just about Jews? What about the rest of humanity and all the other genocides? Mass murder, percentage-wise, increases the further you go back in history. Every inhabited continent has such a history. This is a human problem, not a Jewish problem. The Nazis did not only murder Jews, far from it. They exploited Jew hatred to get people to accept violent methods, and then used those on others. So it is elsewhere. Secondly, Nazism flourished in highly developed countries with fine culture, education, and industry. Nazis were more prevalent in universities than in the working class. This destroys any idea that mass murder is confined to primitive societies. Thirdly, the Holocaust is by far the best studied genocide, and the lessons apply to every genocide. Fourthly, behavioral scientists and historians, many of them Jews, have shed light on the roots of human behavior in such events, which are relevant to all humanity. inherent flaws in every normal human mind seem to be at the root of such things. Rather than dividing the human race into good and bad groups, we must understand, paraphrasing Solzhenitsyn, that the line between good and evil runs through every human heart. Understanding this better and shifting the balance is a task in which universities have a vital part. The University of Leicester has played and is playing its part, and I am proud to accept this honorary degree.